Regards to the 2014 Ram 1500 Laramie Longhorn with the overhead console LED issues. I'm recording on my phone, so it keeps taking up space and the videos are cutting out short. I said it was going to be 3 videos, maybe 4, hopefully at least no more than 4. Where we left off was, this is video 3 out of 4. Where we left off was that little light, that little white plug-in here sends power to these prongs. These prongs then run all throughout this plastic trim that is not removable. It is inside. There is nothing at all to remove this plastic trim from that metal. Now that metal, if you could, it's going to be really hard to tell in the video. See if I can get some focus going on down there. Right there, the little metal that I'm shining the light on, holding the phone on, that's where the light plugs in. It does it on both sides. Then you have your white little switches here. What happens with these, they just simply push in. They click on, they click off. This silver here, that's just a reflector. That plastic is not the light. What you see through there, it is the LED, but it is not a simple LED. What is actually going on is that plug, which is right in this area right here where my finger is, that's the plug we were looking at from the back side. It actually goes into this plastic. This plastic here is the light. The whole unit's the light. There's no replacing just a single light. What happens is when it sends fire into this light, it shines into this piece, which has a little that you can't see. Anyways, this right here is the light. If you try to remove this, you're going to have a hole here. You can put an LED in or not. I'm not going to try it because I think I have a fix. The problem is this chrome piece here, it's not removable. They have plastic welds. You either have to break those off and try to re-screw it or try to melt them if it's possible. I don't want to go through that. If you have this issue, I literally pulled it off, shoved this in as hard as I could without breaking it on both sides, plugged it back in, and it has been bright now for several minutes. So I'm going to reinstall it. I will say, when you first start taking it off, these 2 plastic hooks here, they go up here into this cutout region that you see, into those slots. What you want to do to remove this is start off on the plastic, pull down. Here you have those 2 pieces of, those 2 metal clips there. They hold. That'll be the first thing that'll come down. The second part, because this will be one unit together, will be those 2 metal pieces. So you can see about where they are located. This is how the unit will be. Those will come down. At that point, you then lightly pull this out of the slot in this motion and down, and then let it hang at the mirror. I then began by disconnecting the garage door opener. That's the easiest one I could get to. After that, the rear sliding glass window, instead of trying to rotate this little this little red plug out of the black piece, which is very difficult, it has a little clip on each side here. That'll pull out of the black piece, leaving this hole. Secondly, I took this little light out. That's the little light that shines down to your cup holders. It has, and you have to be very gentle again. I cannot stress enough how gentle and how tight this is going to be. But you can accomplish it. That little light goes into this plastic trim, the little gray trim, into this right here. If the camera will focus, there's little hooks there and there on each side. Just pull these outwards, just like I'm doing, but don't break it because it's stiff. It's very hard, stiff plastic. It may snap. Pull lightly, and then that little light will come off and leave itself hooked up. This way you're not messing with the light. From that point, I then had to shove the gray back in because the black was not disconnected from it yet. And the toughest one was getting this guy off. There's no slack there to work. I'm actually seeing chafing from the company, from Chrysler, where it's laying against this. It's actually probably a fire hazard, but of course they won't do a recall on it until something happens. That goes to your sunroof. If you don't have that, then you know that's great. But if you got a Longhorn like I do, it probably comes with a sunroof. Once that came off, and it also has, I had to take a knife and wedge it behind that little tiny thumb, that little tiny piece there, and it was connected to the black in that hole there. Trying to give you a second to see some details here. It's hard to put it down. So where the green is shining at the background in this little hole, that little tab will move forwards, but it's hard to. I slid a very thin blade knife behind that, and it came out. From there, the white one, this white hook here, it presses down like you see me doing now, and it will then pull out, and you'll have the whole console. If you have to replace this, do not, if you can avoid it, do not replace this piece. This is what costs so much. This does not, or I'm assuming it doesn't. If you do have to replace it, don't let your dealership, unless it's under warranty, keep this. You have a home link security. They have all kind of stuff going on here. This is the issue. But again, I believe that when you plug this up, after shoving the actual plastic light behind the chrome up in there tighter, it may start working. Mine is working. So I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this, and hope for the best. I'll make a quick little video. It'll be the 4th video to show that it's working. One last thing, the black comes out just the opposite. When you disconnect this black piece from the gray trim, this is the part that goes towards your mirror, towards the front of the truck with the windshield. There's nothing here except for 2 little clamps. You can see them there and there. They will come out easy. The rest of this will come out easy. That part there is at the front towards the back of the vehicle. It'll come out last. Just bend it downwards and let it come out.